Welcome to Tales, Tunes, and Tomfoolery starring Jerry Springer, along with Gene Galvin and me. I'm Megan Hills. We're recorded live in front of a brilliant studio audience at the Folk School Coffee Parlor in Ludlow, Kentucky.
My daddy came home every day.
And now, here's Jerry Springer.
Oh, you're making me blush. You're making me blush.
Hey, Jerry, could I say something to you? And
What?
I've kind of waited to say this publicly. But you and I have been friends for 45 years. You came to
that's right.
Cincinnati around
mid-69, 69, yeah.
To do what, by the way?
Well, to start practicing law and with a law firm here. And then I got immediately involved in Vote 19. Remember, there was back then you had to be 21 to vote in every place in the country except Kentucky and Georgia, where you could be 18. But the rest of the country, you had to be 21. And this was in the middle of the Vietnam War. And there were many of us who thought, hey, wait a second, if we could go and fight and die, the same kids that are going over there and doing that, making that sacrifice, not have a voice in, who makes these decisions, not be able to vote. And it was interesting and so we started this campaign to lower the voting age in Ohio to 19. And that was my first involvement.
And we became friends early on, along with our spouses. And the compliment I want to give you, and it's heartfelt, is you are the most honest person I know. Now, see, that's that. Now, see, he hit the test button because this is the you lie, and it's a
whenever you
thing.
say something that isn't the truth, this goes like that.
Well, yeah, but you're hitting the test button because the fact is I am telling the truth. Well, let me hold up my hand and I'll show you.
What?
Jerry Springer is the most honest man I know. And it's not going off because I'm not pushing any button. It measures voice stressors, and I'm telling the truth.
Which only says that you don't know anyone. You have
well, no, that could be. But here's the thing.
Yeah, what?
Here's how I know how honest you are.
What?
We've been playing golf. We don't play a lot of golf. I don't play a lot of golf. You play a lot of golf.
I don't play a lot of golf. You always say that I play. And that's why you're always asking for strokes.
Well, there's where I want to go. And Megan, let me tell you this, Megan. Every hole we've played for the last 45 years, we bet on every hole. And Jerry...
And that's why I'm not allowed in the Hall of Fame of golf.
That one
because
reason.
I bet on golf.
Well, you have, and you admitted that you have. But he never, ever cheats. If I'm got the scorecard and I say, no, and I say...
No, but there's a reason I do.
Why?
Well, lessons are so expensive.
Yes.
And if you cheat, you don't need to take lessons. You can get a good score that way.
Aha, I see what you're saying.
So a lot of people, they're practicing their strokes, they get upset, they're throwing clubs and all that. No, fill out your card before you start the round. The pressure's off. You enjoy it. And who's going to know? Who in the middle of the week asks you, well, what did you shoot last week? No one, first of all, whatever you say, no one believes it anyway. All the money that is wasted on lessons.
Okay. I would know because I'm playing like across the fairway from you, usually way behind you because you're a much better golfer. But as honest as you are, Jerry, and this is the bone I want to pick.
Yes.
As honest as you are, you're not a fair person. And here's why I say that.
Fair?
I've always asked you, in fact, I'm stopping asking you to give me strokes. My therapist has sent me here to this table. And my therapist says that my facial tics, a lot of my dysfunction in life is because I haven't been treated fairly. And she has told me to tell you that you should be giving me 3 strokes a hole when we play. And that's coming from my therapist, not from me. I'm no longer asking that.
Yes.
You need to give me 3 strokes a hole.
I've learned to live with your tics.
You'll take the tick.
I don't care. Tick away.
Later.
I am not giving you. That is ridiculous.
Hey, Jerry, you worked for Bobby Kennedy when you were just out of college. I swear to God, if Bobby Kennedy was sitting right here next to me, because he was a man of fairness, and you know that, he would turn to you and say, give Gene Galvin 3 strokes a hole. So now it's not coming from me, it's coming from Bobby Kennedy and from my therapist. You need to give me 3 strokes a hole.
What Bobby Kennedy would say, is Gene your friend? And I'd say, yeah. And he says, I think you can do better in Friends.
That actually was pretty good. That's a pretty good one. Hey, let me ask you a question.
What is that, Gene?
Speaking of golf,
Yes.
I remember a time we were playing you.
Oh, you're not going to bring
me,
that up. That's
our mutual friend Lewis.
Yes.
And your pilot of your big King Air corporate jet, VJ.
Yeah.
He's from Texas.
Pilots have to be from Texas.
They have to be from Texas.
You want your doctor to be Jewish and your pilot to be from Texas.
I hear you. So, do you remember this, Jerry? We look up, and our friend Lewis.
Yes.
We saw some guys appear ahead of us on the course, and
I
they
remember
weren't
that.
there before. Now, there had been a huge thunderstorm, and so we don't know, maybe those guys scattered off the course.
And we thought those guys just cut ahead of us.
And Lewis thought they cut ahead of us.
Yeah.
Now, here's the point. Lewis, our friend, stupidly goes down to confront them.
And says, hey, you're cutting in front of You're right. And I'm
Accuse
saying,
it. They look like pipe fitters, like local guys. They look like some serious dudes.
Yeah.
And the fact is, a fight was about to start.
That's not a joke. That
Lewis
is
is
true.
up there
And
facing four guys. VJ looks at me and is like, oh, Jesus, we got to go up. Because you have to help your friend. And VJ's the only one of us that could fight.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I got to go up there and I got to fight four guys.
This is true.
And me,
I
a man of
part.
honor, and I go up saying, I'll go up and let somebody pound my
You're
face into jelly.
stupid.
Well,
Why
they're
are
going to
we
kick my ass.
arguing? Why are we starting a physical? We are grown men, older men. You're going to start a physical fight on a golf course because these people we thought cut in ahead of us. Really? So I'm walking down with you.
Yeah, then
Well,
what
like-
happened to you? Because
Well,
that's the
yeah,
point I want to bring up.
I veered off a bit into the woods.
Wait,
You
did
literally went into
I could have been hurt.
Megan, he slinked into the woods. He slithered into the
let
woods.
you get in a fight. I could get
you
hurt.
let your friends potentially get in a fight, and you ran into the woods.
I didn't start the fight. This is. I had a show on Monday.
Oh, for the love
What
of
if
God!
what
Were you
if
worried
I
about your-
show up?
with a bloody nose?
I
and a
have
black
gone
eye?
through 25 years of a show, never getting hit. I'm going to be on a golf course someplace in Michigan playing with you guys, and now we're going to get into on something stupid. They really were going to get in a fight. They had golf clubs. These guys were tough. So I didn't. It wasn't like I ran away. I was just walking slower
How
than
would
they
you
were.
define
And-
it, Gene? How did he run
He
away?
slithered
I
into
think
the
I
woods.
said, guys,
Like, I couldn't see him anymore. He
I
was
had
behind
it-
trees.
They
was
didn't
behind
have
trees.
a restroom there, and
I'm going up there to get my ass
You
kicked,
go
Megan.
into the
I'll
woods,
get
you
my
go
ass
with
kicked for Lewis. Let's go do it for Lewis.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Not
where's
this-
I would
Jerry?
have
So
sent
word
him
to the
some
wise.
money.
In a fight, four guys like, and VJ saying to me, which one do you want? I'm like, are you kidding me? Go ask
That's
them
when I
which
went in the
one
woods.
wants to kick my ass.
No, I did. I went
How
in the
big
woods.
is VJ? I
but
gotta
I
get this
pretended
mental.
I had to go
VJ
to the
can fight.
bathroom.
Like he's legit. So it's-
VJ's
VJ could
fire
hurt
plug
people.
kind of
Yeah,
VJ.
okay.
He's
can
from
fight.
Texas.
Yeah, he's like,
you
know.
don't. Yeah, you don't get citizenship in Texas unless you can
And that
beat
poor
someone
guy
up.
was like, I got to fight four guys. Now, here's how this ends. So Lewis then realizes he's totally screwed up. He calls the clubhouse. The clubhouse says, those guys are legit. They're okay. They just got
They
off
are
the
ahead
course.
of you. So I didn't bring it up. Lewis was wrong. I'm throwing him under the bus.
Yeah, all right.
Lewis was
not here to
wrong.
defend
So
himself.
we were picking a fight, which was absurd, and we were totally in the wrong. Now, I'm in the woods because I said I had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, right.
cowering
So he sees
like an 8-year-old girl.
and
in
he
the
reads.
woods.
He reads Megan the body language to know that it's all like the temperature's lowered, and Lewis
Now
is
it looks-
profusely apologizing. Oh, I'm such a
Now
dick.
I'm
I shouldn't have
walking
done
out.
that.
Because I'm more of a diplomat.
Yeah.
And they
Is
see
that what
now
it
for the
is?
first time they see it's Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
They recognize him, and they're like, "We've been punked. We're on punked."
That's it. We're on.
Yeah,
There's
they
no way
thought
this
they
is
were
real
on
life.
TV. But now they're standing around for pictures.
All they wanted was pictures, tickets to the show.
Take tickets to the show, everything. They
How
were
long
best
ago was
buddies.
this?
2 years ago.
Are you serious?
2 summers ago. Yes, recently. Yeah.
Just weird.
Unbelievable. Jerry, you're an immigrant. My parents, my mother was an immigrant from Italy, but you are literally an immigrant. Tell us your immigrant story, and I'd be curious as to what I think might be a unique take on this whole immigration debate that's raging across America, particularly with the Republican primaries coming
Well,
up.
I tell you what's interesting now, because I thought we had talked and we'd be talking about this in the show, but coincidentally, Mickey and I down in Sarasota went to a play this weekend called Sotto Voce. It means whispering voice, and it's a love story. It's a great play if you ever get a chance to see it, and it's a love story. But the backdrop of it is a true story. It is a Cuban ship that in 1939 took 900 people from Germany. And 800 of the people on the ship were Jews. And this was 1939 when Hitler was at his peak just before the war started, and they wanted to leave. So the ship, Cuban ship, tried to dock in Cuba, but it had 800 Jews on it, and the Cuban government would refuse to take the Jews in. So the ship was sent away, and it then stopped here in Miami, not our finest hour for America, and America turned the ship away because they had already let too many Jews in, according to its quota. So the ship had to go back to Germany, or to Europe, and various European countries took the Jews in. But then, of course, Hitler invaded the Netherlands and all the countries of Europe. And it turned out that I think 270 of the Jews were then exterminated in the camps. That is similar to my family's story because my family was, many of them, my grandparents, uncles, aunts, and cousins were exterminated in the camps. My mom's mom was exterminated in Chelmo, and my dad's mom was in Theresienstadt, which is now right outside of Prague, and my dad's brother was in Auschwitz. Well, the stories, we've all heard them, etc. Anyway, miraculously, Mom and Dad, 2 weeks before Hitler went into Poland on September 1st of 1939, and August 17th of 1939, my mom and dad finally got a visa to leave Germany. So even though the rest of their family was not able to get out, Mom and Dad were. Mom was pregnant with my sister, and they got to England. America wouldn't take us yet, but they got to England where my sister was born the next month, and then a few years later during the war, I was born. But their goal had always been to come to America because they had now lived through 2 world wars and lost their family, etc. And they really believed that the only hope was America, ultimately. They believed the Statue of Liberty, etc. And so they got to England where my sister and I were born. And then when I was 5, because they believed America was it, they bought 4 tickets on the Queen Mary, and we sailed into the New York harbor in January of 49. The trip to America on the Queen Mary for a 5-year-old boy was awfully exciting. Of course, I didn't know anything about the history. I'm a little boy. And just being on the Queen Mary was like, whoa. Evelyn and I had never seen an elevator before. We lived in a 4-story flat in England. The Queen Mary had elevators and, shops and movie theaters and everything. I mean, it was the largest ship in the world at the time. So that was all exciting. And I have a memory of the day we docked in the New York harbor. Because when you're 5, you have some memories, and this was a very clear one. And what I remember is all of us were called up on the top deck of the Queen Mary as we sailed into the harbor. And understand, this is January 24th of 1949. It's freezing cold in New York. I mean, it was numbingly cold. So my memory is 2,000 people on this top deck, freezing cold. And what are we doing standing out here in this weather? What are we looking at? And we were looking at what turned out to be the Statue of Liberty. And my mom, in years later, would tell me the story about I had asked her, what are we looking at? And she said the Statue of Liberty. And I said, what does it mean? And she said in the German she spoke at the time, ein Tag alles, one day it'll mean everything. And she was right. And what personalizes this whole immigration debate that we so flippantly, well, I won't say flippantly, some people get viciously angry about immigration, and we're going to set up a wall along the southern coast of America. It's like a knife in the back because, I want to say to these people, you don't understand the symbol of America, the magnet of America, why everyone to this day is still trying to get here, is the Statue of Liberty. Give me you're tired, you're hungry, you're poor. That's the magnet. The symbol of America cannot be a wall. That's everything we stand against, whether when we were fighting communism, Gorbachev, tear down this wall, the whole bit. That's not what America is. And we are, except for Native Americans, all immigrants. somewhere along your line, your family came over. And imagine if after you guys got over, or just before you guys got over, the group before said, set up the wall, no more people coming in. Just this weekend, we read this horrible headline of Italy, a boat leaving Libya, almost 1,000 people drowned. That's how badly they just want to get out. People want to do the best for their families that they can, and they have all different reasons for wanting to get to a better place. For those people, it was at least to get to Europe. With our case, these people are coming over, and maybe they don't follow every rule. But if it were your family and your child and your survival, what wouldn't you do to survive or make life better for them? And now we want to say to these anywhere from 12 to 20 million immigrants who are in this country, perhaps, quote, illegally, but they have children who were born here in America, and maybe just one of the parents was the one that came over and isn't, quote, legal. Would any of us say to that child, I'm sorry, mom has to leave. We're going to split up your family. She's got to go back to Mexico or wherever it is. I mean, where's the sense of decency? Forget politics. I mean, how can any of us say that? Just as human beings, why is that? Why do we cheer that? Let's vote for this guy. He's tough on immigration. Really? What is America other than immigration? Our great scientists, you don't think they came from someplace else? We all came from someplace else. Einstein, Werner von Braun, who switched sides and, so we got the nukes instead of the Soviets. I mean, everything we do, all these great technology came from someplace else. You cut off immigration, you cut off the future of America. We're finished competing. It'll be inbreeding. If the only people we give birth to in this country are going to be people that have only been here, we will not get the best of what this planet has to offer, which America has been. And it's been that because of immigration.
As friends for 45 years, I don't mean to draw you into that. That's hard for you to talk about it, but we appreciate hearing it. It's a powerful story. Let me ask you one other thing about immigration, because you're such a political person. You have such an astute political mind. I've known that for all these years, too. How do you analyze the politics of the various people who line up in these different positions on immigration? Typically, Democrats tend to say, hey, the 12 to 20 that are here, let's call it amnesty, call it what you want. Republicans are more harder line. But how do you analyze the politics? Is this like gay marriage, marijuana reform? Is this an issue that's masses are embracing as leave these 12 to 20 alone?
Well,
what do you think?
Once again, liberals ultimately will win on this issue simply because the demographics of America are changing. And even though who run as conservatives, Republicans are starting to figure out we've got to do something. Mm-hmm. So it's possible that the Republican candidate for president will be relatively good on this issue. If the Republicans nominated Jeb Bush or Rubio, et cetera, it may not be so good if they, not nominate a Cruz or something like that. A younger generation will be much more open to this, much more understanding. It's just, it sounds so partisan, but if we would just say, what is the decent thing to do, I think you would always wind up on the liberal side of an issue, almost always.
Just as Robert Kennedy would argue with me on behalf of you giving me 3 strokes a hole, that he would be for allowing immigrants to stay here. Bobby Kennedy would be with me on both of those issues.
Certainly on the latter. On the former, you have a dream. But yeah.
How do you see it as part of the younger generation? How do your friends see it?
Well, it's not an issue. Honestly, when we're talking about, Jerry's correct, is the younger you get, it's not a conversation, because I think we tend to see things and a little bit less of that, us versus them mentality. We're very much embracing the fact that in order for America to move forward and be the best country that it can be, you need as much variety as you can possibly get. So with the exception of some very, very hard-lined right-wing friends, I would say it's very, very open-minded.
And I think technology
Oh, there's no barrier.
It's really helped right. In other words, xenophobia is on its way out with the media today and with technology today, and the world is flat.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Like, I look at my niece, I look at the stuff that they're seeing in technology, and it's a smaller world.
I visited with my daughter, my wife, who's in the audience here, and you agree I should be getting 3 strokes a hole because you've been around some of those games. So add her to the list too, Jerry. But anyway.
No, she thinks you're dumb as doornails.
Well, it's probably
and that's
true.
She chose him, remember? She married him.
You don't find the kids today saying dumb as doornails.
No, you don't, sir. No, you
Usually
don't.
like dumb as a pile of rocks, maybe. But hey,
bag of hammers.
There you go. My daughter's friends in Orlando and her husband David, and they have a grandson Reese, and so it was Reese's birthday, and we go to this birthday party, and they work for Disney and other entertainment venues in Florida, and all of their friends are people of all different colors and sexual orientations. It feels really good to me as a much older guy and seeing country go through all these ebbs and flows. But Florida and other probably border states, it's just all different. And it's the generation you're talking about too, Megan. And I just think it's very cool to see that. So
yeah, and we don't necessarily see it quite as much here in the greater Cincinnati area. It tends to be pretty homogenous around here. But as soon as you get any coastal, anything like that, it's just so much. It's so vibrant. There's so much going on. There's so you get different parts of the area.
Different music, a lot of different
and it
jokes
comes to the middle of the country. I mean, it's getting here. We're seeing that now with where we are tonight. But it's certainly got that Mark Twain quote, right?
Yep.
10 years later, Cincinnati.
That's right. We always look forward to the music segment of this show because tonight we have a group called the Hu Town Holler, and
Hu Town.
The Hu Town Holler. Well, they'll talk about their name in a second.
Not
yeah,
Hu
it's
Town.
a good.
We're 1/3 immigrant. Eli was born in Moscow.
There we go.
Oh.
There you go.
Welcome, but you'll have to leave.
He doesn't have to leave here, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Patrick, what song are you guys going to do?
I got one that was cleared with the censor. It's called Goddamn Pete. Goes like this. Bottle half full, but not with me. Life's been one big goddamn beat, but you and me.
superb. Where, the obvious question, where did you get that name? What is it?
Hu Town Holler. I got a nickname. My nickname is Patrick Hu, and I had a friend of mine.
Patrick Hu, yeah.
It goes on and on. That's what it got. A friend of mine that we had a spat, and I hadn't talked to him for 6 or 7 months, and a mutual friend texted him and said, "Pat's playing at so and so," and he texted back, "Pat who?" So I got on Facebook right away because I knew he was on Facebook and changed my name to Patrick Hu. So,
Well, that's a great show. Yeah. Are you talking now?
Yeah, we're talking.
Okay, well, see, there you go.
By the way, let me introduce some members of this group.
Yeah.
We have Ilya Burkhart on the bass, and Chris Goins on guitar. And Patrick Hu playing guitar, doing the vocals, and you wrote that song. It's a good one.
Thank you.
Where are you guys playing?
We play Friday night at the Wonder Bar.
Okay, which is in Cincinnati?
In Covington.
In Covington, Kentucky.
Great.
It was the last, I don't know if anybody has heard about the photographer that's been letting girls strip naked and take pictures of them.
What
Now,
time?
did
What
this
time?
clear the censorship?
Whoa. What time?
We didn't know it was gonna. You don't know when it's gonna happen.
What time do they open? You interview someone, you like to get some information.
Just podcast
But
work.
then we have a gig at the Redmore on May the 2nd. It's with the Tillers and Mama Drones.
And by the way, on a future podcast, we're going to have the Tillers here and the Mama Drones. And again, we're getting just awesome quality of performers. And
That's
I know
super.
that Jerry and Megan and I, and again, we appreciate what Casey's doing to make that happen. And other people listening to this who are singer-songwriters, all of our stuff is featured original new music. Well, it may not be new, but original music. So people, if you're on our website listening to this, or if you're listening on another platform, an iPhone or Android, etc., go to our website and look for Songwriter Stump. And there you can submit a form, send us an MP3, wherever you are in America, and we may bring you in and bring you on the show. We're starting off using local performers because it's just logistically the easiest, but we're going to grow out from here, and we still have plenty more good local people coming.
So you go to the website first.
Go to the website first, look for Songwriter Stump, and it'll all be clear from there. So if you're a performer, songwriter, and you want to communicate with us, we'd be anxious to hear from you. Can you guys please take us out on that old public domain traditional song, Irene Goodnight?
You've been listening to Tales, Tunes, and Tomfoolery, sponsored by the Folk School Coffee Parlor in Ludlow, Kentucky. Thanks to Patrick Kennedy for writing our opening song, and to you for listening. Hope to see y'all again real soon.